Right guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are back for some more action once again, this time for the French Grand Prix at the Circuit Paul Ricard. If you guys missed the last episode, then go watch it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner for the Canadian Grand Prix, in which was a pretty damn awesome race to be honest, and I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys should probably go watch it because it was a bit of a strategy masterclass. But in terms of this race today, we are here at France, and this is one of the stronger tracks for the AI. Having said that, I have got a pretty good record here in the race, and you guys saw on screen a moment ago, we do have a chance of rain in qualifying. But in terms of R&D developments, the top three don't bring any upgrades. However, Red Bull do bring an upgrade of their own. We've got one planned for the next race in Austria, which is, I believe, a ultimate aerodynamic upgrade for the drag reduction. So that's going to be a massive improvement for our car, and hopefully that will help us out even more and give the McLaren a bit more of an edge, especially on the straights and under acceleration. But jumping into practice, the car felt fantastic around here. I do enjoy France. It's quite a good flowing circuit. There's a reason, before F1 it was a test circuit, and that's because it does give you a good basis and a good way to kind of drive the car, and there's a lot of nice long flowing corners and some nice technical sections as well, and a few bits of elevation change as well, which always is a welcome thing in Formula 1 circuits. But this weekend we are expecting rain in qualifying, and at first, I thought to myself, yeah, it's going to be a standard intermediate conditions qualifying, nothing major. But as you can tell probably by the title of the video, if I remember to title it as such, it is going to be a wet quali, but with dry tyres. The team recommended softs, and it was actually the best tyre. Everyone went for soft tyres, all the AI. It just seemed to be, the track wasn't quite wet enough for the Inters, and DRS was enabled throughout the entire session. So quite an interesting one, and one of them ones where it does come down to how much confidence you have in kind of a slippery track on dry tyres, and it's all about those fine margins and that ultimate kind of finesse over a lap, and that's something that I'm pretty good at. But the AI unfortunately have one thing over me that I can't match them, however hard I try, and that is traction. So yeah, we're gonna try our best. Hopefully our cornering can compensate for our lack of traction compared to the AI, and we can make it a close session, and fingers crossed we have a decent one, because our qualifying lately has been pretty good, and I want to try and continue that decent run of form, and minimum at least try and start inside the top 10. That'd be good for us. But if we start outside, then we are going to get the benefit of the free tyre choice, which is a pretty strong option around here, to be honest. Having said that, we're jumping into qualifying now, and this was my first of 3 runs in the session. You can see on screen the rain coming down quite heavily, to be fair, and this first run wasn't that great, to be honest with you. It felt decent at the time, but yeah, overall there wasn't enough commitment really. You kind of don't know where you're going, you don't know where the limits of the track are, so I was kind of being cautious, and you see that we go P2, 7 tenths off of Magnussen's time, 1:34.7, not a great lap, and eventually we got pushed quite a way down, all the way down to 20th and last place. So we had to go out again, and on my second lap I took a lot more of a risk and really started to go for it, and it paid off for us massively, because we just seemed to find more and more grip. I made an adjustment to the brake bias and also the differential, and that also helped. You can see here now, midway through a lap, we are improving by a massive amount, as we've got one more sector to go. We find even more time through the final sector here, nearly a second up as we make our way now into the final couple of corners. And the sector 3 as well, I was losing most of my time, and we actually found most of it on this lap. We found nearly 8 tenths of a second, but we get a bit of a poor exit as we run up to the line. But we are going to improve massively and jump into the top 8. Still 9 tenths off the pace though, but from a 1:34.7 down to a 33.5, that's a strong lap. And we're now going to go for my final attempt here in qualifying, and it didn't get off to the best start. The exit out of the final corner was pretty sketchy. I didn't quite get the rear traction down. Having said that, we're going to run overtake here and use it a bit longer just to compensate for a lack of straight line speed on the exit. But into turn 1 and 2, you want to really focus on your exit here. Really important to focus on getting that traction down and trying to maximize your speed down this little short back straight, and that's exactly what we do as we make our way now into this kind of tight and twisty Mickey Mouse section. Really important to take a lot of the inside curbs to really shorten the lap as much as you can, and this corner here, very important to not run too wide onto the exit curb, otherwise you will be in trouble. We get a fantastic line through there, and we found 2 tenths, but we get an even better exit, keeping it flat out through the left-hander, and we open up DRS, and we're nearly 3 tenths up here on the back straight, and this is pretty damn good as we make our way into the chicane now. You want to try and brake as late as possible. In the normal conditions, you can brake after the 100 meter board. I try to go as late as I can, and important to really focus once again on a clean exit here, because there's a massive straight coming up and you want to really maximise it. We actually lose a little bit of time compared to our previous best through this sector 2 so far, but only 2 tenths off Verstappen is looking pretty good as we're now currently in 9th place and making our way through senior now into this long kind of double apex right-hander, which you can take a million different lines. So this time I try to go for a bit more of a better exit focus line, and it kind of worked out for us. And then this left-hander here, again, a million different lines you could take. I tried to kind of go with a bit of an early apex, and it didn't quite work out as good as I'd hoped.
30 seconds left in the session.
As we now make our way into the final couple of corners here, really important to keep it nice and tight through here to really open up the final corner. And again, exit speed absolutely critical as we try and get some clean traction. Unlike the last run, we open up the DRS and crank up the engine, and we are going to improve by 2, maybe 3 tenths across the line up to 7th place, but eventually we did get pushed down to P9 as others improved elsewhere. But having said that, a decent qualifying, and I do think on a perfect lap 4th place was possible. I think, you know, in these conditions when it's kind of mixed, there is a better lap on the table, and signs that qualifies us. But still, it was a competitive session, and I think with a better lap, 4th was definitely on the table. If not 4th, then definitely 5th. So overall, no complaints, and we go again in the race. Hopefully we can have a good start and use the soft tyre to really push on. And I'm worried it might overheat, but we're going to try our best and try and score some big points as we now move into the race for round number 8 of the season here at the Circuit Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix.
Welcome to Le Castellet as we return from across the Atlantic for the 2019 French Grand Prix. Reintroduced to the Formula One calendar just last year after an absence of almost 3 decades. The Circuit Paul Ricard, where racing legends such as Alain Prost gave us some Turn 1 excitement before Valtteri Bottas and Sebastian Vettel and a commanding victory from Lewis Hamilton gave us a brilliant race last year. What, I wonder, will it have in store for us this season? Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The 2 halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Why don't we discuss McLaren? They haven't had any retirements in the last 5 races. What do you think that says about the reliability of their car?
I think they can be fairly pleased with that record so far. The first thing any good car needs is a solid, reliable base with which to build on, and they seem to have that this season.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Russell, Lewis Hamilton and Sainz, Vettel, Magnussen, Martinez and Alexander Albon, Bottas, Gasly, Nico Hülkenberg and Giovinazzi, Fiat, Norris, Kimi Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo, Grosjean and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the French Grand Prix, starting from 9th place on the 5th row. Not where we want to be ideally. Having said that, not my worst qualifying of the season. And the target really is to just try and push forward. You know, can we beat Leclerc? I'm not sure. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. My concern is tyre temperatures on these. The soft tyre does worry me a little bit. The medium, not so much. I think that's a good race tyre. And normally around here, I'd normally do the medium onto the soft tyre. I feel like the AR might go soft to hard, but we're going to try and go soft to medium and make that work. I think I can do it the other way around, so I'm going to try and do it the other way as well. In terms of fuel, we're running 1 extra lap, and there's no rain expected. So the target is simple, really. Just try and make as many overtakes as possible. Lap 1's important to get a good start and try and make some progress, and then we'll kind of take it from there and kind of judge the race lap by lap. But let's jump into it. Less talking and let's get racing. Right, here we go. Let's try and get a good start here as we build up the revs to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. Not a great start. We struggled to get away. Wasn't terrible, but not my best start. Into turn 1, trying to go quite late on the brakes. We're going to just put the power down there and put the squeeze on Albon. Magnussen and Vettel side by side in front of us. Let's see if we can get past. It might potentially leave a bit of a gap. There's a bit of contact between the pair of them as we tuck in. I'm going to try and get a bit of a switch back here. It does work. We get underneath Sebastian Vettel here. Oh, that's perfect. There we go. That's the move we want. We're going to just get in front of him. And we're going to be right on the gearbox of Magnussen here, who doesn't have much of a slipstream in front. So we might be able to get the double overtake. We're gaining on the Williams. We're going to pull to the right-hand side. That's where you want to be. We've got the momentum. We're going to swoop around. and get the move on K-Mag, and we move up to 7th place. Fantastic start, exactly what we needed. Carlos Sainz up in P5 ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Looks like we are going to stay in front, so a really good start from us. Exactly what the doctor ordered as we get ourselves into the race. Now let's see if we can maintain the pace and hopefully not overheat the tyres, and more specifically the left-sided tyres are the ones that concern me. At the minute we just can't quite get within DRS of the cars in front. There's a 6-car train and they're all really close and battling quite heavily. I'm trying to pull away from Magnussen and it is kind of working. I've just about got a gap where he hasn't got DRS on me, which is good. But without a slipstream, we're struggling to make progress in the cars in front. Hopefully, though, they actually start battling side by side, and that will cost them some time. But for now, we're kind of sat here in 7th, just trying to manage the tyres to make sure there's no overheating issues. At the minute, I'm driving at max pace. I haven't got no more than this. I'm driving really smooth and cleanly, and I'm still overheating on my front left quite badly, but there's not much I can do about it. Just got to deal with it. Good thing is, we are still pulling away from the cars behind who are battling. But yeah, we're pretty much stuck here until we pit for mediums. Or I can hope for some more battling in front. Okay, a couple of cars pit in.
Carlos is in for his stop.
Very early stop from Carlos Sainz though. Very surprising, and none of the leaders match him. Just him pitting at the minute. Okay, a couple more leaders pit in. I believe we've got Leclerc. And I want to say Verstappen, possibly in the Red Bull. My only chance is to make this one stop work on the mediums. That would give me something in the next stint. And it is Verstappen and Leclerc who pit.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
We're almost there. A few more laps to stretch and we should be able to put off a one-stopper. Okay, Russell pits. The racing points, those stay out. Traditionally, they've had pretty good tyre wear in this career mode, so I'm not really surprised. Magnussen pits as well. A few more laps to go, we can make this. And now Lewis pits, the remaining car. So we're going to be out front by ourselves. If I could stretch this to lap 11, that'd be fantastic, but I don't think we can. We've got to pit lap 10 because we're losing too much time otherwise, but we are going to inherit the race lead for at least one lap in this race.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Alright, there we go. That's a decent in lap as far as in laps go. We're now going to push this pit entry as much as we can. Get it also down to the 60. There we go. Job done. Right, that was a good first stint on the soft tyre, going nice and long, which is something I can't really do compared to the AI, but we can do it around here, and hopefully the one stop onto the mediums pays dividends for us and we can make a difference. There's a massive train of cars. Look at that for the final corner. Absolutely unreal. We're going to box in here.
Complete. Go now.
1.9 stop. It's a very slow pit stop, but look at that. Oh my god, there's so many cars in the pit straight. You probably won't see it because it's on a replay camera, but there's so many cars. We're down to 17th place.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
It's going to be close with Sebastian Vettel, but we rejoin in front. There we go. Job done. We're behind Albon, who's on soft tyre, so a lot of these guys might be two-stopping. We're going to the end on these. Hopefully it pays off. And we've got a lot of the leaders on hard tyres now, and they're all caught up in this train in front, so this has actually worked out quite nicely for us. If we can get these to the end, we might have a chance. Which I was kind of anticipating this kind of traffic, because it always happens in a normal race, in the one-stoppers. We do just have DRS on Albon as well, which is fantastic, so we can hopefully keep up with the Toro Rosso. Right, let's get head down and let's try and push. The car is so quick, it just hits the limiter at the end of this straight, which is not the longest straight. We get a fantastic run though. I think I should be able to pass him on the back straight if I time this nicely, so here we go. We're starting to catch the traffic as well. Just saw some debris fly off there as well. I'm gaining on Albon here. I'm tucked in quite nicely. I'm going to try and get down the inside. Yes, we do. There's some contact there. He's kind of locked onto my side pod. Around the outside. Oh, yes, what a move. Including my teammate, Carlos there, shoving me off the track a little bit, but we make a lovely outside overtake. More outside overtaking. Oh, yes. Down the inside of Lewis at the final corner. He squeezes me into the apex, but we get past anyway. Here we go. This is important. Lewis coming back at me here, down the inside of turn 1. Trying to go late on the brakes. Around the outside of turn 1. We just about hold on. Really, really important move here. Let's keep pushing. Kimi going defensive. I think he's got wing damage. I think he's one of the slower cars. We're going to go around the outside and pick up the inside line for the next corner. There we go. That's perfect. Now can we get past Perez on hard tyres? And suddenly we're looking like in a bloody good position here in this race. Perez goes for the move on the Renault. which has DRS, Lance Stroll more specifically. Oh, there's a huge lock-up. We run very wide. That's going to cost me quite badly. I'm in big trouble here. Lewis on the back of me now. That was a massive lock-up on the curb. That's never really happened, but Lewis is now going to put some pressure on, so we've got to try and pick up the pace. We need to get past Stroll ASAP. Looks like that Haas car is struggling in front of Stroll. Again, possibly wing damage. They should both pit in this lap, I think, so that should release me with DRS. Let's see if they pit. Yes, they do. They both get out of my way. Perfect. We can now focus on our own race. Let's see what position we're in. I'm actually curious to see how much progress we've made. And there we go. We're up to the top 4. Wow. Perfect. A couple of beautiful overtakes. Multi-car overtakes around the outside. And it's worked out for us. And we've got the good tyre on as well. We're on mediums. This is looking good. If we can get past Perez, we'll be on for a podium this race. If the tyres can hold on to the end. Good lap from us there. And the top 2 pit. Oh my goodness me. We actually can win this race out of nothing. Yo. It's game on. We can win here today. I didn't realise the top 2 had to do a 2-stopper. Oh my. Right. Let's get past Perez. So far so good. We're closing in quite nicely through here. I've got the tyre advantage, so I've got to make it count. We've got to get past ASAP. I'm out of rich mix though, which is not ideal, but here we go. We're gaining then. DRS on the racing point. We are quite far back, so it won't happen on this straight. But we'll put the pressure on. We'll maybe be able to set him up for the next one. There we go. That's beautiful. Exactly what I'm talking about. We're now buried in the slipstream. That racing point is so bloody quick on the straight though. We're only just starting to gain a little bit now. Here we go, we're gaining on Perez. Oh, dirty air really hurt me there. We're going to have to wait for now. Sainz pits in. I actually dropped out of the DRS range by accident, so we're going to have to get back in. Tyres still all look good. About 10 to 11% tyre wear so far. They're holding up beautifully. Perez does have very strong pace though. You can tell the racing point is the quickest car on the grid now. In certain areas that car just works so well. Okay, we're back within range then. We're going to try and make the pass this lap on the back straight. Gaining on him here. We're going to save a bit more fuel in the RS. Because it seems like Perez isn't running a particularly high engine mode himself. So we can use that to our advantage. Try and save a bit more fuel. Because when I pass him I need to try and drop him out of the RS range. So it's important to have a bit in reserve. So that it's not, we don't just get the overtake done and that's it. We need to keep pushing. So here we go. Getting very close and personal. Setting up the move. Now we turn the engine up. We give it everything. Not the cleanest exit, but we'll take it. We're closer than we ever have been. If I can pass him around the outside, I'll be happy. We're gaining. We're going to go to the outside. Yes. Good move. Now we've got to try and shake him off. Good traction there. He's coming straight back at me though. He's got his engine turned up. Oh my goodness.
Run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
He just flew past me there. We had to turn our engine back up because he had so much momentum. You could tell he was saving his power unit and he cranked it right back up the second we passed him. Wow, what a difference. That racing point is an absolute bullet on the straight. We do get in front. Now we've got to try and stay in front. He's come back at me again here. I'm going to have to actually defend the inside. Perez ain't done just yet. And this is allowing Lewis to close the gap once again in the other racing point. Important to get a good exit here, which we do get. It's not over yet though. Perez will have the RS. He's approaching, but he's not close enough. Right, let's try and pull away now. Big lap here. Really, really important.
Some information on Norris. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Norris out the race for Haas. No VSC or safety car, which is perfect for us. Perez is hanging on at the minute with DRS. I've got to keep pushing. We are shaking him off though. He is dropping back slowly. One more strong lap and we should be able to free ourselves of his DRS. Just done the best first sector I possibly can. Purple sector 1. I think Perez still has DRS though, he's hanging in there. He's not letting me go. It has to be this lap. So by the end of the lap I have to be DRS free. As we take a big chunk out of that corner. Luckily we don't get a warning, although I didn't really carry much speed, but I think we've done enough. Let's have a look at the second sector split. No, 0.8 of a second. Perez is still there, he's hanging on. This is not ideal. Looks like a personal best, yep, personal best. And Perez is 1.1 behind. This could be it. A strong first sector should do the job. As I just run out of rich mix. I've now got to try and save fuel in the RS for a late Perez recharge because we're going to start running out of tyres soon, and Perez, in traditional AI fashion, the last 2-3 laps they try to push for the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so they're coded to go flat out. Therefore it's not over yet. I'm just trying to keep him out of the RS range, but Perez is already picking up his pace here, so we've got to try and run at a decent pace whilst trying to save fuel in the RS for the last part of the race. It's going to be very tricky.
We have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
I think Perez might have crept back within DRS range, but that's fine. I'm good enough through sector 1 that I can keep him behind. Yeah, he's got right on the back of us, to be fair, all the way right on the back of us. He's got his engine turned up, that's what it is. Not a good exit there. I don't know what to do, whether to defend or let Perez go and save ERS and fuel. Here he comes. I'm going to defend a little bit. I'm going to make it hard for him. I'm going to give him the squeeze. We're going to go around the outside. Look at that. Perez had such a compromised line. We stay in front once again, but he's going to have his engine turn up, so he's going to come back at us here. I'm going to show him around the outside of Senior. Without turning my engine up, I'm going to try and hold on here, if possible, on the inside line. That suits us. We can keep him behind there. There we go. Job done. Show him on the outside again. This is good. A good way to save fuel in the RS. Turn the engine down again here. Oh my god, yellow flag.
Okay, clear.
No, it's not for Perez, it's for Russell and Hamilton behind, who have tangled at the chicane. I'm pretty sure. That incident's actually quite irritating because it's gifted Leclerc a third place when it could have been P5 and it would have been a massive point swing for us in the championship. It's still going to be a big point swing, but I
3 laps of fuel remaining.
But I really need to win the race now. It's become even more important to really have that points gap. Here comes Perez. He's gaining again. He's going to look around the outside this time. Going to leave some space. I'm going to try and get the switch back on him. Good exit from us there, very, very nice. We're going to be right in his gearbox. He's got his engine turned up though, you can tell.
We pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
There we go, back down the inside, nice move. Giving him a bit of a squeeze as Verstappen takes third. We need that, hopefully he stays there. I'm trying to be really defensive now about my driving. I'm trying to be intelligent. Got to try and save fuel in the RS whenever I can. I'm doing a good job. This is probably my last race with some of the components in this power unit, as the IC has just gone above 50%. But also we've just saved about enough fuel in the RS that I can go flat out on this entire lap. The last lap of the race, full power. Let's give it everything. I think we can win this now. I feel confident. Let's go. Not the best exit out of there. Perez is within range, but I think we've got enough. Yes, we do. We've just got to hold on through Senior, and that should do it. Let's not throw away now. No mistakes through the rest of the lap, please. There we go. Nicely done. Let's turn the ERS back up. A little bit wide there, but we'll get a good exit. Power down. There we go. Let's keep Perez adrift. 2 corners to go. And oh my days, what a strategy. What a race. The racecraft was on point. The overtakes were beautifully timed. And as a consequence, we are going to come through to win again and win the French Grand Prix. Yes. Get in.
Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
It was a tough race at times, but they've held on to take a great victory for McLaren today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know. I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
Our winning drivers are on their way to the podium right now. It's been a fantastic race for McLaren, that's for sure, and no doubt they'll be celebrating tonight.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you? Great. Well, that's everything.
Yes, guys, there we have the final race results, and Perez, in the end, tried but failed as we win the race here today for the French Grand Prix. And Charles Leclerc did get third, but not on track. He got gifted third because of a penalty to Max Verstappen, which was a 5-second time penalty. Therefore, Leclerc inherits a podium spot ahead of George Russell in fourth, Verstappen fifth, Gasly P6 ahead of Hamilton, who had that contact at the end, and then Giovinazzi 8th, Magnussen 9th, and Hülkenberg 10th. And then missing out the point, Sebastian Vettel, Carlos Sainz only in P12, Ricciardo, Kvyat, Albon, Bottas, Stroll, Raikkonen and Grosjean, with Norris the only retirement of the Grand Prix here today. In terms of what the race means for the driver standings, we cut down the gap to Leclerc down to 27 points, and we are knocking on the door, and we're getting stronger and stronger. We've got a big upgrade on the way in the next race at Austria, and we've got Perez in third place in the Racing Point. Also, Sainz drops to 8th behind Russell after that race, and Verstappen overtakes Magnussen for P5. In terms of the constructors, we jump up to second place, equal on points with Racing Point, and both of us, both ourselves and the Pink Panthers, cut the deficit to Williams slightly down to 51 points, but there's still a way to go, and work needs to be done. But guys, that is going to be it for this race here today at France. If you enjoyed it, drop a like and get subscribed if you are new, and also check out these two videos on your screen if you have missed them. And also finally, turn on notifications, guys, don't miss any videos from me in the near future. And yeah, guys, finally, hopefully you enjoy the video, and I'll see you in my next one very, very soon at the Austrian Grand Prix around the Red Bull Ring. But until then, guys, I'll see you very soon.